Pythia was a powerful figure in ancient Greek mythology, and her story is shrouded in mystery. According to legends, she was the high priestess of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi and the Oracle of Delphi. Pythia received her title from being an oracle whose prophecies were regarded with great reverence. Pythia's name came from Pytho, which was derived from the verb to rot. This name was given to the place where the dead python lay after it was killed by Apollo. Pythia played a significant role in the religious and political lives of ancient Greeks. She emerged as a preeminent figure by the end of the 7th century BC, and her prophecies were widely sought after. Pythia continued to be consulted until the late 4th century AD, and her temple is one of the best documented religious institutions of the classical Greeks. Despite her power and influence, little is known about how she operated. Conflicting stories emerged, but the most common one was that Pythia delivered oracles in a frenzied state induced by vapors rising from a chasm in the rock. However, some scholars have challenged this idea, suggesting that ancient sources represent Pythia speaking intelligibly and giving her prophecies in her own voice. According to Herodotus, Pythia spoke in dactylic hexameters, which is a poetic meter commonly used in ancient epics. Despite the mystery that surrounds her, Pythia remains an influential figure in ancient Greek mythology and a symbol of the power of women in the classical world. The Delphi Oracle is an ancient institution that has been around since the middle period of Mycenaean Greece in 1400 BC. Originally dedicated to Gaia, the shrine became known as a sanctuary for Apollo over time. The rebranding of the Delphi Oracle in the 8th century was connected to the importance of Corinth and the sites in the Gulf of Corinth. The Homeric hymn to Delphic Apollo tells the story of Apollo choosing his first priests, Cretans from Minos city of Knossos. Apollo has the cult epithet Delphinios, which means, he who leaps into the ship with the form of a dolphin, revealing himself to the Cretans. They followed him up to the sacred place, singing, i.e. Paean, which refers to Apollo's name in Mycenaean times. There are many stories about the origins of the Delphi Oracle, including a legend about a goat herder named Caritas who discovered a divine presence and the ability to see the past and the future when one of his goats fell into a crack in the earth. A shrine was erected, and a young woman was chosen to speak on behalf of the gods as people began to experience convulsions and inspirational trances. The Pythia was a vital part of the oracle's traditions, acting as Apollo's mouthpiece. Great attention was given to her chastity and purity to be retained for union with the god, and her practices show many traits of shamanistic practices that were likely influenced by Central Asian customs. In all, the Delphi Oracle remains a fascinating part of ancient Greek history and mythology. The Temple of Delphi was a magical place that housed the epic oracle of the Greek mythology. Pythia, the priestess of the temple, sat atop a beautiful gilded tripod over an opening to the earth and gave oracles that predicted the future. According to the legends, the god Apollo dwelt within the laurel, given to him by the winged sisters of Parnassus, the Thraei. 3 priestesses had successively offered their service as Pythia in Delphi, but the last one was most famous. Pythia was a highly respected position in the ancient world, but it came with a lot of sacrifices. Originally, the priestesses were members of a Delphi-based guild and were required to lead a sober life and possess a good character. However, once they became Pythia, they had to give up their previous identity and could not engage in family responsibilities or marital relations. During the peak periods, a well-educated woman was selected, who was trained in subjects such as geography, politics, history, philosophy, and the arts. However, in later periods, uneducated peasant women were chosen for the role, which may explain the shift to prose as a key divination method. Being Pythia had many perks, such as the freedom from taxation, the right to own property and attend public events, as well as a salary and housing provided by the state. However, it came at a hefty physical cost. According to Plutarch, Pythia's life was shortened due to her service to Apollo, and the sessions were said to be exhausting. At the end of the day, the Pythia would be like a runner after a race or a dancer after an ecstatic dance. The temple was a fascinating place where people traveled from far and wide to seek the Pythia's guidance. It was a place shrouded in mystery and magic, where the predictions of the future were made and the gods' voices were heard. Delphi's oracle was a place of great mystery and intrigue with many officiants who played important roles in its functioning. In addition to the Pythia, there were 2 priests of Apollo who oversaw the sanctuary. These priests were appointed for life and chosen from among the main citizens of Delphi. As well as looking after the oracle, they also conducted sacrifices at other festivals of Apollo and were responsible for the Pythian games. Plutarch, who served as a priest during the late 1st century and early 2nd century CE, provided the most comprehensive information about the organization of the oracle at that time. He wrote about 2 other groups of officiants, the Propheti and Hosioi, who were connected with the oracle. The Propheti might have interpreted the Pythia's prophecies or reformatted her sayings into poetic verse. The Hosioi, on the other hand, had unclear responsibilities in running the oracle, although they might have been involved in the operation of the sanctuary in some way. Despite the lack of clarity about the roles of the Propheti and Hosioi, they were both essential to the functioning of the oracle. The Pythia would deliver her prophecies from the inner sanctum of the temple, but it was the responsibility of the other officiants to ensure that the temple was properly maintained and the oracle remained accessible to those seeking guidance. Overall, Delphi's oracle was a complex institution with many layers of meaning and significance, and its influence on the ancient world can still be felt to this day.
Do you want to explore more Greek mythology stories? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.